Okay. Jai Baba, everyone. This morning, Rosalie Dunphy is going to read The Rich Man in the Desert from Bhauji's Nectar for the Children. Look at this grand illustration. Wow. Okay. All right, Rosalie.
And Meher Baba dictated these stories to Kalchuri, so they're just like supercharged with God. During my awakening of Wednesday, 25th July, 2001, Baba said to me in his silent voice, "People ask me how to live in the world. I will tell you a story so that my lovers know how to live in the world." There was a perfect master, and he had some followers. They would come to him and garland him, bow down to him, and give him presents. Every day, this program would be there with the perfect master. He would only give a short discourse, and then his followers would go away. One day, a rich man came. He did not bring anything with him. From a distance, he observed people garlanding the perfect master, bowing down to him, and giving him presents. The perfect master gave a short discourse to them, and then they dispersed. After the people had left, the rich man went to the perfect master. He did not garland him. He did not bow down. He did not give him any present. He was teasing the master. "Oh, master, what a comfortable life you are leading without doing any work. You get all respect from people. They come, they garland you, they bow down to you, and they give you presents. Whatever you need, you get. How fortunate you are." To which the perfect master replied, "One day you will come to know." "Why one day?" the rich man asked. "What is the secret behind this?" "There is nothing. Just see, I work and work and work. I perspire, then I earn. And you are better off than me. Without doing any work, you get everything. One day you will come to know," the master replied. 3 or 4 times this rich man came to the perfect master. He did not pay him any respect. He did not give him anything, and he would tease him. Each day, the perfect master would only say, "One day you will come to know." Eventually, the rich man had a whim that he should go on some adventure, such an adventure that no one had yet embarked upon. At last, he thought, why not cross the desert? No one has done it before. If I do this, I'll become very popular. And because I am very rich, I can afford it. This is an ancient story. At that time, there were no means of transport. Sometimes when people would go to the desert, they would use camels, but they would not cross it. This rich man called his workers and said, "Get 100 camels ready, load eatables, and water on them in a very big quantity." We have to cross the desert. The workers did so, and then they started off. When they reached the desert, it was very hot. The rich man started pouring water continuously on his body. They were a certain distance, and the workers thought, he is using too much water. We better warn this rich man not to use so much. The workers went to him. Master, you are using so much water. Suppose we are in the midst of the desert and there is none left. We all will die. This rich man was very, very proud and replied, I am paying you. Therefore, you should not make any complaint. When there is no water, we will not be able to drink the money which you are giving us, the workers said. We will want water. Either listen to me without complaint or go away, the rich man told them. All the workers left, and the rich man was alone. Because he was proud, he went on ahead, still pouring water on his body. When he was in the midst of the desert, there was no more water. He was very, very thirsty. He was dying. Then he prayed, oh God, I am dying. Get me water to drink. And a man appeared with water. When he saw him, the rich man said, please, I am dying of thirst. Give me a little water. Give you water? The man retorted. You have to pay if you want water. Yes, yes, the rich man replied. I will pay you. How much do you want? Whatever you have there, you have to give to me. Then I will take you back. Otherwise, you will die. When I go back with you, whatever you have, your business, property, everything you own, you have to give to me. So much you want for water? The rich man exclaimed. Then die if you don't want to give this to me. I don't care. The rich man was dying of thirst, and he had to accept the man's offer. The man started supplying him with water. Then he brought the rich man back home and said, now give me the charge of everything you own. The rich man had to give over his property, his business, money, everything to the man with the water. Now the rich man was on the street. He had nothing. He was penniless. What to do now? He asked himself. Then he remembered the perfect master. He is the only one who can help me. He went to the master, who observed, you look so miserable. What happened to you? The rich man told the whole story to the master. For water, you have given everything to that man? The master said. He deceived you. I gave him everything because I was dying, and I would have died had he not supplied me with water. This shows that water is more valuable than your property, your business, everything. Yes, Master, I realize this. I was attached to what I was doing. It is good that that man has taken everything away. You are not free from attachment. It is still there in you. You are suffering externally and mentally. If the situation changes, you will just be the same. No, Master, now I have realized. And what happened? The man who had taken everything from this rich man was approaching. When the rich man saw him, he said, "This is the man, Master, who took everything from me. But don't say anything to him because he saved my life." When the man came, the master said, "You took away everything from this rich man. You charge so much for the water. Have you no shame?" Master, he was dying, but he wanted to live. He could not live without water. So I put my conditions before him. If he wanted to live, he had to give me everything. And he did. So it is not my fault. I did not do him any injustice. On the contrary, he wanted to live because he was attached to the world. That's why he gave everything to me. The master listened to him and then said to the rich man, "Do you remember when you were dying? What did you say?" "Yes, Master, I do remember. I prayed to God, 'Please give me some water. I am dying.' Then this man appeared. Do you know who heard your voice?" "No, Master, I don't." "I heard your voice," said the master, "and I sent this man to you to supply you with water. And you say that I don't do anything? That I just sit here and people come and garland me and bow down to me and bring presents? That you can see, but what I really do, you cannot see." The rich man said, "Master, I now realize. Please give me shelter near you, and I will do whatever you ask." It is a very difficult life. You have to obey my order. You will have to walk on the edge of a sword. So be careful, because you are not ready to do whatever I like. Master, I have realized it. I will never leave you. I will do my best to please you. And the master said, "Now that property, business, your money, everything belongs to me. Nothing belongs to you. So this is my order. I make you caretaker of my property, business, everything now in my possession. I am the owner. You are only my caretaker. You eat, you have a good life, but never think that it is yours. Whatever you had It now belongs to me. Will you accept this? And the rich man accepted this condition as the master's order. And then there's a little explanation. So this is a way to live in the world. Never think that anything belongs to you. Everything belongs to the Lord, and you are the caretaker. If you have this attitude, then God helps you, because whatever you do in order to please him. Some people leave the world and go to the forest, thinking that they have renounced the world. This is not renunciation. The whole world goes along with them because they retain their minds.
Wow, what a beautiful story.
Wow. This illustration is amazing.
Can you read that last two lines again, please?
Oh yeah, this is like it's the end of the story, and then this little is inserted. So this is the way to live in the world. Never think that anything belongs to you. Everything belongs to the Lord, and you are the caretaker. If you have this attitude, then God helps you, because whatever you do in order to please him. Some people leave the world and go to the forest, thinking that they have renounced the world. This is not renunciation. The whole world goes along with them because they retain their minds.
Thank you.
So it's not so bad losing your mind.
Yeah.
And Baba's quote, I have come not to teach, but to awaken. The little end part is you in me.
Right.
He's there and he's awakening now. Yeah.
It's me and you. Me and you. It's Baba in us.
Yes, right.
Not you in me, but me and you.
Yeah.
We're so involved in the dream,
Yeah.
we forget who is doing it. Yeah. I think and Baba's made it so easy. His name is so easy to say, Baba, like a baby. Baby say it, one of the first words, Baba.
Yeah. One of his, I don't have it in front of me right now, but one of the things, I don't even know how to categorize it, but anyway, he said, those that I love the most, that I know will stay with me, I will torture, because I know they won't leave. You know this one?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you really.
If you give me 1 second, I can.
Love it.
1 second.
I don't feel that about him. He's so kind. He's so loving, Baba.
You know, I think I've got it here. Maybe I don't. Oh yeah, here we are. Okay. I love the picture that goes with it.
Let's see.
Oh,
yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
I recognize him.
In my life for the last month and a half, maybe 2 months for me. In Nasdaq on April 2nd, when Baba was 36 years old, some of the Mandali complained to Baba, staying with you is nothing but harassment. Life is so full of hardships now. There is no other thought in our minds and hearts except death. We look happy to others. We eat, and drink with everyone who comes. But who sees the dagger piercing our hearts? In reply, Mayor Baba explained, consoling them, it is my grace. This is my real mercy, which descends on a very, very select few. These are my friends. They are my lovers, to whom I give the gift of sorrow and distress. It is a gift much greater than gold, incalculable value, and not given to all. This gift is only for my beloved children. We masters can grant a world of gold or happiness and prosperity to others by our blessings. But this rare and great gift of privations, troubles, and suffering is destined for only a few. So don't be anxious. Remember that I love most those whose hearts I pierce, and who, though their hearts are wounded, stay with me and stick to me through thick and thin. Were I to use my dagger on outsiders, they would not dare approach me. I keep them happy with praise and encouragement so that they may be in contact and gradually be fit to bow down to me in the real sense of the word. For my friends, I kill them. And it's my highest mercy. What is my mercy? What is my grace? It is your trouble and harassment.
Where is that from? Where is that from?
It's from
Nothing.
Lord
Time.
Maher, Lord Maher, Volume 4, page 1294. And I don't know what edition, so I can't.
Wow. Daunting.
Somebody gave this to me a long time ago when I first became a Bible lover, and quite frankly, it scared the shit out of
Right.
You're saying.
me. And I was like, whoa, sign up for this. Anyway, but it has proven to be a very valuable gift. And,
Well, at least when you're feeling so miserable, it gives you, it does give you a little hope that, that it's not all just hopeless. That's what it is. Yeah.
there's a
But
purpose behind
Bhauji used to say, I really envy you. He says, he's giving it to you so softly and so easily. We his children, his mandali, he harassed, yes, the men mandali more than the women.
Yeah.
But Bhauji used to say, but you're getting it easy, you're getting it easy.
I always call it Baba's washing machine. Days I feel like I'm in the heavy duty cycle.
Yeah.
Some days the spin, and some days I'm actually in the fluff cycle. It's like, I like this. Yeah.
But it's very tricky. It's like that's why I like the mystical language, because pain is important, it's your experience. And so I'll grab onto a line of it, and this line, because I do believe in joy, and I growing up Catholic, it just seemed like they were too concentrating on the pain and not that joy. So it just in a line, and I heart-memorized this line because, I thought, I didn't want to just hear pain, pain, pain. I got to hear that something's going on at the same time. And it says, God in us is rejoicing his own experience of joy. That's
Beautiful. Yeah.
it's happening. It's not a thought, it's that experience. And so it's like, wow. And I know, and there's this other one that says, all in life is pain. And I had to be careful not to just cling to that. I mean, it's true, but I need I need a little sugar coating or something. I need joy. I need joy.
Of course. That's
Well,
our
before we-
hummingbirds will come back probably in another week and a half, 2 weeks on Mother's Day. And they represent joy.
Mhm.
And whenever they come, I just feel so good. I mean, when they leave, I'm not sad, boohoo, but it's like, oh, I really enjoy going out there because they get so used to you that they will land on you. If you're wearing red and you're still, and they know you because I'm assuming this, I don't know, but generation after generation, they know because they've been coming for over 40 years here.
What are you talking about? Birds? Birds?
Yeah, the hummingbirds.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Ah,
my friends me to visit you. Oh, sweetheart, that's beautiful.
So much fun. So I got my feeders out the other day. So getting ready to hang them up just in case they come early. It won't be too early. The buds are out. They're starting to open up now, but they need camouflage. So, but the willows have their leaves, so they sometimes will go down there for a bit. So
Beautiful.
wow. I was walking on the beach with a friend, the center beach. We went to the center and we came upon this beautiful child. He was with his mother, I guess she was an older man, and he was so open. He was just, and even physically, just amazing. Golden hair, true apples for cheeks. And we said hello, but there was like a connection with this child. It's almost like he was still on the other side,
yeah.
And I put out my hands to him like this, and he placed his hands on mine, and it was like, like amazing thing. And my friend was standing right by, just taking it in. He was like giving to us, and the mother says, "Oh, he's gotten another girl. He got more girlfriends now." It was so, diminished to what this child, yeah. And this was the irony. Then the child, he wasn't saying words, but he took my hand and he wanted us to meet the grandfather. I guess it was the grandfather. Yeah. And so he took us over to the grandfather. The grandfather is on a conference call of a Bible study or something, and he doesn't want to be bothered with this beautiful child,
Wow.
Like, whoa, I'm doing something important. So I backed away, but the child didn't relent. So the father walked up the beach and the child pulling me along.
Right?
It was so ironic because here he's so open and loving, and he's shutting them out doing this Christian conference. And I thought, but for me, it was such a grace, just he's like real angelic, like I thought, thank you, Baba. Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. Beautiful
Kids are amazing. They're still very connected.
Oh, he was, and he would look right at you.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like just a child,
Yeah.
like a soul there, and it was so wonderful to share it with this friend. And every time the mother kept repeating, "Oh, he has more girlfriends now." And it was fun. And we both kind of said, "Oh, Baba, help him."
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't know what they have. That
Yeah, kind of has them on the aim of popularity and wow, like wow, because she was
Yeah.
strikingly beautiful, like wow.
But that's the thing, we imprint these little ones with grown-up thoughts
Yeah.
Yes,
because
right.
they're just innocent little beings that, I remember one day I was in a grocery store and I'm just looking at something. I don't even remember what I was looking at now. And all of a sudden I felt this little hand on, I looked over and Mama was looking at stuff on the other shelf, but this little one, for whatever reason. And yeah, I hear what you're saying. It was just a beautiful moment. It was just lovely. Yeah. Yeah. And innocent and sweet. And anyway, yeah. Yeah.
Well, Betty knows that from working with the children in the Sahavas. No, Betty.
Oh, yes.
Right.
So Mikal was asking, Wendy, was wondering if you were going to read a book, but I'm not remembering. And I wrote, Rosalie, I hope you're going to read at least one more story, but I just wanted to mention that to Wendy that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the book that you were talking about that you were reading.
Yes.
And you that
You're cutting in and out. Sorry, Mikkel.
said that you would be reading things from that book.
People wanted it. It's called the second half of life, and it's built around 8 gateways. And it, to me, fits very comfortably with Effort and Grace. It's not like it's anything that's contradictory to Baba's teachings. And it just gives, for me anyway, it gives me everyday things to look at. But I don't read it every day, but when, periodically in stages, like I've had this book for I don't know how many years now, I'll go back to it and I'll read through it and I'll go, oh yeah, this is where I got stuck. This is where I got
let's read something from the
Yeah, no, Rosalie, you read your thing, and then if there's time for mine, that's okay too.
Yeah,
No,
please.
let's take turns. Your turn.
Oh.
Your turn, Wendy. Yeah.
Okay.
I like things like that you could just help your day, yeah.
There's time. There's nothing after this. Let me look. I think we have plenty of time.
Okay. All right. So hold on here. I just need to find the beginning. And then I can start there. Okay. So, okay. We need the suffragate. Hold on. Well, yeah, where's the pen? Okay. All right. Okay, so this, rather than read all of the introduction stuff, this is sort of a nice lead up. Through the gateway of feeling your weakness lies your strength. Through the gateway of feeling your pain lies your pleasure and joy. Through the gateway of feeling your fear lies your security and safety. Through the gateway of feeling your loneliness lies your capacity to have fulfillment, love, and companionship. Through the gateway of feeling your hopelessness lies true and justified hope. Through the gateway of accepting the lacks in your childhood lies your fulfillment now. So that's so now we're going to enter the first gate is the silver gate. And it's built on facing things, new experiences, and the unknown. Okay, so the silver gate heralds the mystery of any new beginning or adventure. Am I cutting in and out, or is someone else's cutting in and out? I'm not sure. It just heralds the mystery of new beginning or adventure. We have approached this gate many times over the course of our lives. So we're talking the second half of life here. Its reflective, shimmering essence carries the luminous, ghostly, and mesmerizing quality of all that we have not yet experienced. Many of us arrive at this gate in the second half of life only to turn back, because we mistakenly see our elder years offering only illness, loss, depression, decline, and death. In fact, these years offer a new opportunity to re-examine the wisdom and knowledge we have gathered over time. The mysterious mirror-like silver gate compels us to look past what we already know of our nature and begin the long journey back home to our true selves. So the task of this gate requires us to surrender our egos and begin the process of accepting the aging of the body and mind. As we choose acceptance, this gate reveals the once hidden gifts that are now available to us, and we experience newfound freedoms. If we can embrace these gifts and remain connected to sources of hope and inspiration, we can steer clear of the stereotypes of aging. We then have the opportunity to reclaim the wonder, awe, and delight that are rightfully ours in our wisdom years. Our task at this gate is to move beyond the familiar and strengthen our capacity to develop curiosity, trust, and flexibility. Our willingness to approach the reflective, still silver gate and see ourselves anew demonstrates a desire to leave our fixed view of reality behind. Hold on one second. Sorry, Martin just got home. Oh dear. At this gate, we wholeheartedly review our lives and discover what is now emerging in both our inner and outer worlds. We begin to see what truly fosters meaning and vitality for us and what does not. Martin Buber often spoke of what unfolds in later years and how to stay connected to that which brings surprise, hope, and inspiration. In his book, I and Thou, he wrote, "To be old is a glorious thing when one has not unlearned what it means to begin. The desire to experience something new and unexplored, rather than regress into what is comfortable or familiar, announces the presence of the silver gate, the entryway to the threshold of the second half of life. This is the initiation into all the other gates, the point at which we choose whether or not we will come fully into our wisdom years and take on the mantle of elderhood. This gate represents all that we have not yet discovered in our lives and our character, whether it is a new belief, interest, relationship, creative project, or source of inspiration. Symbolically, it is the gate of birth. It announces conception, fosters gestation and incubation, initiates laboring, and results in the triumphant manifestation of something new. It stands alone, yet it is a part of all the gates to follow. As we age, many of us would rather stay in our comfort zones or habitual routines than grow or explore new experiences. But as we leave our youth and midlife and enter our later years, we need to become adventurous. We need to see our lives with new eyes so we can begin to prepare for the ultimate new experience, which is our death. The luminous silver gate compels us to develop these new eyes. Theologian John O'Donohoe offers a compelling approach to exploring the unknown, the practice of befriending both life and death. In his poem, Fluent, he expresses the need to explore each day anew. I would love to live like a river flows, carried by the surprise of its own unfolding. Rivers are nature's teachers and exemplify flexibility, resilience, and perseverance. All resources and qualities that are both necessary and available to us in our latter years. To live like a river flows, carried by the surprise of its own unfolding, is the supreme invitation of the second half of life and the essential task of the Silver Gate. Here we return to a fresh innocence and resourcefulness as we fully explore the spirit of fluency. Look at our world with expanded curiosity. This gate reveals to us where we are different and inflexible, and where we are energized by faith, hope, and vitality. Shall I move on? Keep reading, or is it of interest? Are you enjoying it, or I'm okay? Just-
Yeah, you, darling. Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful, Wendy. Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
Maybe, yeah, a little more, Wendy. I don't know where your breaks are, but yeah.
It's not too much more in
Oh,
the,
good. And let's hear it. Yeah, okay.
the challenge of the Silver Gate is to reconnect to our regenerative forces and stay connected to them. Many cultures of the world have traditional practices to accomplish this. Indigenous people of the American Southwest believe that, I think that sound is back again. I don't know what that is. Am I cutting in and out, or are we okay? Are we okay? Oh, okay.
okay.
Okay. Indigenous people of the American Southwest believe that to cultivate wisdom and character, you must develop the capacity to be fluid and flexible like water, warm like fire, and solid like a mountain, or you will suffer soul loss. Soul loss or disconnection from what is life-giving and meaningful often reveals itself at the Silver Gate. Its symptoms can take the form of inertia, apathy, anxiety, emptiness, depression, futility, or numbness. They may also appear as confusion, preoccupation, self-doubt, restlessness, irritation, a tendency to be extremely critical, or a lack of vitality. These states often signal the end of something important, such as a long-term job or relationship, and the recognition that something new and regenerative has yet to emerge. An ancient European custom still practiced in some parts of the Pyrenees Mountains of Spain keeps soul loss at bay. People are encouraged to celebrate their birth date each month for a year by doing something they have not done before. This practice requires discipline, ingenuity, creativity, and motivated engagement. When we experience the new or unknown, not only do we dispel symptoms of soul loss, but we also renew our spirit, develop curiosity, reduce fear, increase creativity, and begin to befriend the final experience, death. Whether we explore the metaphors of Southwestern Native peoples or practice welcoming something new into our lives each month, it is essential at the Silver Gate to listen deeply to what we may be longing for and to recognize restlessness or dissipation as a sign of soul's urging us to grow and move towards something new. Leo Tolstoy, the great Russian novelist, struggled with this dilemma in his latter years. He was uncomfortable with the wide acclaim his writings brought him. His superficial successes were unsatisfying, and he was haunted by a growing emptiness inside. He felt lost and disconnected from his soul. In his spiritual testament, a confession, he wrote, "I did not know how to live." For some, Tolstoy experienced an essential crisis as he felt caught between two lives, his successful but emotionally unfulfilling external one, and his need for a meaningful and satisfying inner one. In his latter years, Tolstoy gave birth to the integrated life he longed for and began to live a life of simplicity and contentment. He grew his own food and lived out his days in meaningful service and meditation. His writing shifted to express what he was learning internally and what was satisfying to him, whether it was going to be published or not. What renews us often helps us realign with what has meaning for us. This realignment regenerates us as it did Tolstoy, and helps a new aspect of ourselves to unfold our primary task at this gate. I'm almost done here. The four fires. Universally, the fire is regarded as a spiritual symbol of awakening. It is also a purifying force that can be constructive or destructive, depending on our use of it. Many sacred texts, such as the Bible, Quran, and Torah, speak of fire as a symbol of the vital life force that can be called upon for transformation, revisioning, or the transmission of renewed meaning. Traditionally, the four fires that these sacred texts refer to are the fire of vision, the fire of the heart, the creative fire, and the soul's fire. We encounter these fires throughout our lives and during our latter years. I can end there. There's 3 more chapters, or not chapters, but paragraphs. Or I can,
No, paragraphs, yeah.
okay. And during our latter years, we need to reconnect to them so that we can experience what truly inspires us. The fire of vision provides vision or dreams that show us possibilities and potential in our lives, inspiring us to manifest what we see or are called upon to do. The fire of the heart teaches us about what and whom we love. The creative fire signals the work that we love, a keen awareness of our gifts, and our desire to express them as a way of contributing to the world. The soul's fire calls us to be authentically who we are and serve others rather than our own egos. So that's sort of the Silvergate challenges us in the years to connect with our sources of spiritual renewal. In its luminosity, it compels us to follow the internal fires and express them with donde in our external life. That word means the ability to attract others through personal magnetism and charm, which that little boy did, I think, with you. Anyway, that's sort of the gift of
Beautiful. What is the name of the book?
It's called The Second Half of Life by Angela Severian. It just, for, as I said, for me, it has lots of things in it that sort of wakes me up when I get caught in the doom and the gloom and, you know, is it ever going to get any better? Blah, blah, blah. You know, it's a comforting book because it gives you tasks. For example, I've done that 11, you know, my birthday's on the 11th. So for 1 year, every month you do something new that you've never, And, at first it's not too hard, excuse me, because it just isn't. But then it becomes more of a challenge. And it's like, wow, what can I do here? And it forces you to push yourself out of your comfort zone.
So
And-
what did you do when not in the first ones, but in the other one? Because you talked about it last time, and I really liked that. And I was thinking about that when I was, between last week to now. So you said you walked backwards, for instance. Yeah. So what else? When it was harder, okay, walk backwards and eat something that you didn't eat. But what did you do when you finished all these easy ones?
Then I really had to look at what are the things that I don't want to do.
Oh, nice.
Be out of my comfort zone.
Oh, nice.
And so those were the toughie. One of them was going to a restaurant and eating by myself.
Oh, nice.
That was really hard for me. Like for some people, no, but for me, it was like, oh, I had this belief that people would think, oh, the poor thing, she doesn't have any friends, blah, blah, blah. So that was that. And then one of them was, when people ask you a question, but they want their answer. And so one of the questions was, do you believe in God? And I said, yes, I do. And so how do you know that? And I said, because it isn't just up here in my head, it's here. Well, that opened a conversation, which ended up me saying most people think about God, but they don't feel God, and they think he's living in the clouds.
Yeah.
But it went okay. Like it was fine, but whoa, like that was a step in the comfort zone. And and I picked a color. Like, for example, this is red. I never ever wore red.
Yeah, me too. Before I came to Baba, I never wore it.
Well, this day I wore it. I was going to a meeting, and anyway, the lady that was in the office, she says, "Oh, you look lovely." And I said, "Oh, thank you." And then this gentleman came in who was gay, and he just gave me this hug and said, "Darling, you just look fabulous."
That's that.
I don't wear red. Yeah, I don't want to be noticed. There was just things like that happened, and but it was great because I'm wearing red now. I stepped more out of my comfort zone, not worrying about what other people think. I still struggle with it, but I can at least laugh at myself now, where I couldn't before.
That's beautiful. I think I'll think about it and see if I can try to do that, because it does sound, like something that can twist my life. Yes.
Well, we just fix. That's the thing, and nobody changes unless you're forced to change. We just don't. It's just part of our human nature. But when you do change and you feel good about it, it's like, wow, I didn't think I could do this. Like today, I didn't know if I was going to be able to come, because it was like all these things were pulling at me, and I got very upset. It was like, I just want to go to this today. Please. And then it was like, you're going to do this because you need to do this. And this other can just darn well wait.
Good that you came. Good. I was wanting to hear you read this book that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're great. Like the gateways all have something to offer that force you to think out of your comfort zone. And I think that's what, for me, in my journey, I don't think Baba wants me to sit in my comfort zone. I don't, because if he did, he wouldn't be putting me in the situations that he puts me in. They're not comfortable most of the time, you know? But I have that faith that whatever it is, and I'm not going to ever leave him. I may get really angry with him, and you know, but I'm not going to leave. And then I figure out how strong I am. Like when I went to India for the 3 months, never in a million years did I ever think that I would have the courage to do that. You know, not be around my family, my, you know, home for Christmas, all of those things that over-defined me, just over-defined me. And that was a big eye-opener. And I am so grateful that I did. My daughter was the one who said, Mom, if you don't go, you will regret it for the rest of your life. And yeah, she was right. I mean, Martin was 100% behind me, of course, but yeah, it was a big leap coming out of my comfort zone. And, you know, I'm a people pleaser. I didn't want to do anything wrong. I didn't want the Mandali to get mad at me. You know, I didn't want to eat too much, you know, say too much, you know, get caught in conflict because, you know, I'd been going for quite a few years and it's a fishbowl over there, you know. Everybody knows everything about everybody. And it's like, whoa. And so I just made a rule that if somebody asked me, you know, what do you think's the right thing? Or what do you think about that? And I'd say, well, what's the outcome you're looking for? Like I just reflected back to them because I was like, this isn't my challenge in this one. This is nothing to do with me. You know, you work yourself towards that. And yeah, that 3 months really, it was the 11th every day for 3 months.
Wow. Wow.
Every
Yeah.
day. Things that yeah. I remember crying myself to sleep one night going, Baba, I don't know why you brought me here. Like, why did you bring me here? You know, this is so hard, you know. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't hard. I think I just had to say, this is where I'm at. You know, I don't want to do the wrong thing. I don't want to not hear Arnava's in the night, you know. I would have rather slept in her room, quite frankly, where I did at first, because then I would have heard her. But I mean, she had a bye that slept there. But that was my ego. And I had to look at that. And yeah, it was a constant clearing off my ego stuff, let me tell you.
You know that you were speaking of fire in that Silver Gate. There was a mention of fire and different fires. And this really struck me out of Mayor Baba manifesting. I love this line. And I have fun with it too. The flames of the fire of love are as soft as rose petals. And the egoism of the false self is as hard as rock.
Yeah.
Love cannot bear the hardness of the ego, but love is so powerful that it can melt rock in its fire.
Oh,
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
very.
Yeah. No.
Betty, you said,
Say it again. Rosalie, would you say it again?
Oh, yes. The flames of the fire of love are as soft as rose petals. and the egoism of the false self is as hard as rock.
Wow.
Love cannot bear the hardness of the ego, but love is so powerful that it can melt rock in its fire.
Mm.
Wow, that's great.
But that's a beautiful book, by the way. Very beautiful.
Oh yeah, it's like
And it's red.
it's red.
And Betty's wearing red. And
I'm
if
wearing
you're
red too.
I'm not, no, I just have this, it's a bit red. I want to tell something about a red in Baba. Okay, so where does it come? Well, as a child, I was an avid reader and a bookworm, and I used to love legends and mythologies and Bible and everything, you know, these things. So this actually, I now know that this was the spiritual path for the child in me, because everything about spirituality is in those stories, in all of these stories, in the mythology and in the legends and in so I was reading oh, who wrote, I just now forgot, not a good memory when I'm talking, not a good memory when I'm not talking either, but the one who wrote about the duckling, the ugly duckling.
Hans Christian Andersen.
Yeah, so Hans Christian Andersen wrote about this red shoes. There's a story about the red shoes, because at that time probably they were so religious and they were not supposed to wear anything striking. They were supposed to wear only some things that are not striking in color. So the red was banned. So she was wearing the red shoes, and because she wanted red shoes, though it was not the right color to be wearing, then the devil got her. She started dancing and she couldn't stop dance, and this is how she lost herself in the dance, because she couldn't stop dancing because he took care of those red shoes that she was not supposed to get. So I come to Mehrabad, and I don't like red, you know. I don't wear red, so I come to Mehrabad, and it was one of the first years, maybe 88 or 89. And I go to Ahmednagar to get a scarf. And I go to this big shop. I don't remember what its name. Anyone remember the name of the shop there? This
Anil?
big
Sardis.
Oh,
Sardas.
Stardust.
We used to get this blue and gold lined scarves. Remember those?
Yes,
And I just read in Facebook that these scarves, the Indians use them to for dead babies. No, for dead babies, when they have dead babies,
Oh,
with these scarves. And now can you imagine that all of us were going with these scarves? And
say again, Mikhail. They
I
used them for
just read in Facebook, someone was telling this story about these scarves, that they got these scarves, and then they found out that the Indians, they bury when the baby gets dead, they bury the baby in these
with the
scarves, and that's why they have scarves. And all of us, us Westerners, are getting these scarves and going around with these scarves. And those Indians watching us, you know, with these scarves. So funny. So I'm going to this Sardas, and I have this scarf already. I'm not getting that scarf. I'm getting another scarf. I want scarf, you know, a lady scarf. So you know how they do? They put on the counter all the scarves that they have, you know, all the saris that they have. You go for one sari, they put thousands of saris around you, all mixed up. So they're putting the scarves around, and that's a salesman, quite or elderly. Usually for the saris, you sit on the floor, they give you tea, they put all the saris on the floor around you with all the colors and things, and you don't know what to choose anymore. But and it's ours. It's like, you know, it's a good time out. It's a good time out, you know, and the families sit together and they bring they bring their cousins and they bring their aunts, and, you know, and they all sit together with that. But we are funny ones, so we come alone. So, but this was a counter. It was a counter. So he's putting out the scarves. and he's trying to get me to get this red scarf. Was red with I think golden threads in it, you know, not too beautiful either. And he was trying to push that, and I'm saying to him, I don't wear, I don't go for it. I don't like it. And suddenly he puts his fist down and he said, "You Westerners, you're so hard-headed. You don't know what's good." They don't speak like that. They don't say very, very careful. They never
Wow.
talk like this, never assert themselves. I don't know what happened to me. I said, okay, okay, give me that scarf. So I go with the scarf. Not because I was shocked by him or that, but he was so stressful, you know, he was so it did something to my makeup. Got this red scarf and went, you know, because then I would go immediately to the trust. And money was still there and everyone was still there. Everything was still there. So I think on the way I also found a place that they were selling coconut. No, and I really like coconut. I really love it. I mean, now I can't eat it because I don't have the teeth to eat it, but at that time I really loved it. So I got pieces of coconut and I came to Mani and I was giving her, I gave her a piece of coconut. And I said, oh, I really like, I don't know how it happened that I came in and I gave it to her. But this whole thing, it was actually Baba. I mean, he did what he did to you, you know, like he said, you have in your head this thing that the red is this devil thing, you know, from the story that you read in Hans Christian Andersen in that time of Christianity that they couldn't wear red. And so I want to break that, you know. So he did break my he did make me go into colors, Baba.
Yeah.
And that was the first step. And that's why this man, I mean, he was, you know, it was his Indian nature to do that. He just, Baba came into him and came into me. Of my red. And another thing that your story reminded me, because you got all the compliments, you know, you got all these great compliments when you wore it, right?
Yeah.
So Mani and Mera, I don't remember where the story is told, in what book, but there is one thing, one great event that happens, and this lady comes up to them and gives them both sari that they really don't like. They don't like the colors, they don't like nothing they don't like. But you know, Baba says, you know, happiness lies in making others happy. So they decide to swallow that, and they don't even have a sari shirt for it, you know, a fitting shirt for it. But they do this, you know, they take a sari shirt and they wear this these horrible saris, and they go out and they get so many compliments. Like Baba is shining at them. He's saying, that's beautiful. What are you talking about? I love you in these saris, you know? And it's Baba is telling them through others. And since then, they really started liking those saris. So this is how he works, you know? So when you said that you were so hugged and so admired being in red, it just reminded me, you know, of that story.
Yeah. But it is the Silver Gate, right? And just something, this just a little trivia with the Silver Gate. If you find yourself attracted to sparkly things or silver, that means that there's some longing for that to be in the Silver Gate. There's something that's, you know, catching your attention to get out of your comfort zone. Yeah.
So attracted to sparkly things. There's no one thing that I do without sparkles.
Yeah.
And the sparkles fall all over here. Yeah. And
I
she,
don't-
wow.
Oh, what is that? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a dress. And I was magically given it. It was a garage sale, and there was this beautiful teenage girl sitting there, and I spotted it, and she sold it to me for $7.
Wow.
And her mother's looked out of the house and said, not in a mean way, but she says, I paid $200 for that dress in Scotland. And, for me, it was like such a gift, perfect fit.
Wow.
And boy, I love the sparkles.
Yeah.
And you can't see now, but when the light comes in, it's like little spirits going all over the everywhere.
Oh, wow.
Did you put it on, Rosalie? Would that be too hard?
But
All right. Oh, look.
Oh,
Beautiful. Oh, it's a pillow, yeah?
Yeah, it's a pillow.
just
And
color-
same, and she says the same, when you put it in the light, then it gets all sparkly all over the walls.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when I have children from my kindergarten that I work with, or my daycare, that they come here from time to time, I invite them for a day for us to have fun together. Then when the light comes through the window, then I give them this pillow and some crystal balls and things, and
Yep.
they make rainbows, and yeah.
Oh, wow. They like the sparkles. Oh, here she is. Oh my gosh.
She
Oh,
looks like a mermaid.
Rosalie.
Later.
Oh, I love that. I think they call it a peplum.
Woo!
Wow. Wow. Wow.
And I,
Awesome.
Rosalie, see mine? Look.
oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Blue.
You gotta get
That blue
Yeah.
in Baba's flag.
Yeah.
What Baba said about it, he says, it doesn't matter about the middle colors, but red has to be at the bottom and that blue at the top. So it's some kind of a balance, whatever. But when I see anything with that blue, I get so excited, And so to see it in a dress, it's like,
Oh, that's gorgeous.
You
Oh,
look like a mermaid, darling. You look like a mermaid.
You know what, Lee, you have to find a story that you can
oh,
create with that dress. Oh my God,
yeah, okay.
it'd be awesome.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's wonderful. How
There,
long?
there is one sweet little thing that says, the-
She's like Hafiz. She knows everything. But Hafiz is called Hafiz because he knows the Quran by heart. She's like Hafiz. She knows everything by
right.
heart. It's so
That's
amazing.
right. That's right.
as you say that, this fish is struggling to remember something. Oh.
Mermaid. You're not a fish. You're a mermaid.
Oh.
Yes, there are mermaids. I saw two outside his tavern door. Brave ladies, come to beg disenchantment.
Oh.
Can we do more?
Oh.
That's one
Why-
thing.
why
That's
is it
Phyllis,
different?
right? It's Phyllis Frederick. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, there are mermaids. I saw two outside his tavern door. Brave ladies, come to beg disenchantment.
What is disenchantment? Disenchantment.
Disenchantment. We're enchanted with the illusion.
The world. Right. Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
World, yeah. Can we do more?
Oh, golly.
It's like the little hands, I put out my hands and the little child
Right.
hands. And I thought, wow, it was so,
Wow.
yeah. But Good idea, Wendy. Yeah, 'cause it definitely inspires me, to stress, because it's.
Oh, yeah. What potential. Yeah, it's just.
And I have to tell you,
Uh-huh.
it's actually a comfortable dress. You know, you think it could be scratchy or this or that, you know, but no. Very well.
That
Oh,
I taught my granddaughter because it reminded me of a fairy, and it just popped into my head. Haven't sung it for years because she's a teenager.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just going to use the words a bit, but it's Rosalie, Rosalie, queen of the fairies, come and dance with me. Rosalie, Rosalie, queen of the fairies, come and drum with me. Rosalie, Rosalie, queen of the fairies, come laugh with me.
Oh, sweet. But I muted you by mistake because I thought she was going to sing, you know.
But anyway, so they.
Yeah, unmute, please.
There is something about my name, because one time I went to someone that they considered a saint. I felt a little funny because, you know, Baba said something about not going to saints, but I went to this woman and she said, Rosalie, she says, that is your name. And it's so funny because mainly in childhood, my siblings and that called me Rose. And I never felt comfortable with it because Rosalie's kind of like a song. And then along comes my great uncle who used to sell racing forms at the racetracks.
Oh,
Real character. And he would sing this song to me about Rosalie being a princess. He would go, Rosalie, I love you. And it was like, and I didn't hold with, I'll call me Rose, but Baba would send Uncle Harry in to sing it.
oh, golly.
but just on a side note here, being Rosalie here, you have brought out in 3 other women, you know, that side, that playful side, you know, not being afraid to laugh or say something or do something. We're not in the Silver Gate, ladies.
The Silver Gate. Yeah, it's like
And
the Silver Gate is a little rusty, but you know, I live a little oil. You know, that there is something very wonderful that I read one time about different signs, like say, okay, with Virgo, it says, Virgo comes to teach that love is purity and learn that love is fulfillment. Leo comes to teach that love is ecstasy.
That's me.
And learn that love is humility.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Scorpio comes to teach that love is passion and learn that love is surrender.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
What about you? What sign is
Well,
you?
Right now I'm going to share what I feel I'm learning. It says, which is the experience of the moon. The moon comes to teach that love is devotion and learn that love is freedom.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
They're all beautiful.
They are. That's just lovely. Well,
It's like in this astrology book, I found it, but certain things, you know, I thought that helps me. And another one is the first sign, Aries, is like the child. It says, love, Aries comes to teach that love is innocence.
Mm.
and learn that love is trust.
Wow.
Nice. What about Pisces? I have a
Which
lot of
one?
I
Pisces.
see.
Pisces? Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
That is the end one. Love. Pisces comes to teach that love is compassion
Mm.
and learn that love is all.
Mm.
I
Wow.
have a lot of Pisces in my life.
And that's like the end, like we go through all these lifetimes of different, and then we end up that love is all. I mean, that's the whole purpose. And
That's
by the way, I want to know about that Gopia cat.
Yeah, that's a new cat. What's that?
I don't know the story of Gopia. I never heard until, do you know, Betty? No?
I don't know. No.
Wow.
I
Wow.
heard either. I was like, oh, that's a new one. Yeah. I don't.
I
Yeah.
don't think she's in the book, you know, the
No, I don't know. Yeah.
Huh.
I thought I get it from one who loves cats. You should ask that cat.
He's so old. He just likes to be held. He's 17.
Wow.
I never saw him on Zoom.
Don't we all?
On the silver, he's on the silver.
Yes,
gate.
he is definitely going through the silver gate.
Or is it a golden gate later on?
Yeah.
He's gold. Wendy,
Sorry. Sorry.
if when it's later on, it's a golden gate.
Yep. Oh, yeah. It'll come to that. If you
Oh,
go through them all, we'll get to the
the
goal.
last gate. Oh, is the golden gate.
Oh,
Golden, oh.
Oh.
You know, there was one other one that popped up about Taurus
Mm,
Uh-huh.
comes to teach that love is patience
mm,
and learn that love is forgiveness.
Oh, wow.
mm.
Those are that's profound. And
Yeah, I'll bring the list next time because you're
They're
just
not so patient. They're not so patient, the Taurus.
I don't know. I don't have a lot of Taurus.
Quickly.
One thing I wanted to just put in here, which I forgot because I didn't flip the page. Thought we were done. But one of the reflections of the Silver Gate is just quick. Is that okay? Just,
yeah,
Yeah,
go for
yeah.
it. Yeah, yeah.
So reflect silently on each of the questions below. The root of question is quest. And
Ah.
through the process of reflection, every question becomes a quest, a journey of self-discovery. Approach the questions and sit with them. Let your insights arrive of their own accord in their own time. Reflect upon these 6 questions and notice what is revealed to you as you approach the Silver Gate. Where do you experience the spirit of fluency in your life? And where are you willing to live? Like a river, it flows, carried by the surprise of its own unfolding. What generates meaning, hope, inspiration, and curiosity for you? Where do you experience symptoms of soul loss, inertia, apathy, emptiness, numbness, confusion, futility, discontent, and anxiety? What private longings or callings have you repeatedly dismissed? What has prevented you from acting upon them? How do you renew and regenerate yourself? Where do you experience Lorca's Duande, singing and dancing? Reflect upon the 4 fires, the fire of vision, the fire of the heart, the creative fire, and the soul's fire. What does fire reveal to you about your dreams, work, health, relationships, creativity, and soul's desire at this time in your life?
That's a lot of questions, and I
That's
don't
a
even
lot.
remember the. I don't even remember the first one.
I will type them out and
That would be wonderful.
and Betty can
Yeah.
use it because I don't have everybody's email. So
But also, I don't remember all the four
I'll
fires,
send
and
them.
they're really
Yeah.
good. So if you can
Fire?
write down fires because they're really nice. I like them.
okay.
Okay, I'll send you everybody's email.
Okay. I will do-
Wow, this feels like a very intimate little ladies' tea.
I love, yeah. You know that's why I love that the flames of love were as soft as rose petals.
Yeah.
And I thought, rose petals, nothing like, wow, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so no, this meeting's a real gift to me because Baba has me in the fire and this I remember something that Kitty Davy, I was in the car with her when she said it, and she said it about relationship, but someone was complaining that Baba marriages are breaking up. So many marriages breaking up in the Baba world. And Kitty Davy said, who had never been married, but she says, oh, yes, really, we're going through so many lifetimes in one, so many lifetimes. And you thought, it's true. It's
Yeah.
true. Only Baba knows how many we have to pass through.
Yeah.
And that's why at times it feels so hard. Like, can
Mhm.
I do it? Can I, and I love that. Speaking of the river and the fluidity, and the willingness to flow. And when Anita Bayard saw Mara the first time she saw her, she felt she had seen light on running water.
Wow.
Light on running water, because
Yeah.
Mara was so there to reflect Baba, like all she wanted to do was please Baba. So it was like light on running water.
Yesterday, Martin and I, we went for just a little bit of a road trip. We've been getting lots and lots of rain here, and we live in a water area, so you're kind of watching, the impact that it has. And there's it's not too far from us called Burley Falls. And in the summertime, the kids will go there and they'll slide down the rocks in these rapids. Like they just have so much fun. Anyway, we went there yesterday. That water was black. It looked black, and
Oh, wow.
except for the foam at the top, and it was swirling, and there was like areas that we would normally sit. They were covered. They were totally underwater.
Wow.
And the negative ions are good for you, and that's what you get when you're around fast moving water. That part was okay, but it did seem rather metaphorical of the world that we're in right now. There was that both of us kind of felt that way. It was like, wow, water, the strength of that water. You couldn't help but feel that. Well, maybe not everybody, I don't know, but we did.
Yeah.
And then as we were driving back home, we're big back road people, and streams that are way overflowing right now. Yeah, it's very interesting. And as it could just flip in a moment, and then we'll go into, but
there was one time that I went to the sea because I don't have rivers here. We don't have hardly any rivers here, and the rivers that are very dry. And so our water is made out of seawater because we don't have water sources here for drinking. So last year I went to the sea, and that was the first time. Half the sea was brown,
Wow.
not blue, brown. And yes, and I can completely identify with what you felt and how you saw it. And it gives me the shivers, you know,
Yeah.
but exactly what we're doing here is bringing our spirit up, and you waiting for the hummingbirds, because, you know, it might be crazy outside and history has been crazy. It's not the first time that things crazy are happening in the world and bad things are happening in the world. But Baba is giving us a life, a condition, a bubble that is so pure and so protected and so out of these things, so away from all these things. We can see that it's happening out there. We know that it's happening and it's not bad, it's not good. And but we can also see our bubble, and we have to stick to that. And Baba has shown me, I was talking about it, I don't know if you were here when I said that I saw on Netflix Michelle Obama talking to Oprah about the light within, uh, 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 shining the light within. She says our light within is not dependent on what is happening outside. It's dependent on what is happening inside. And she was very funny and she was very open. She was very vulnerable about her life. She was telling things that people don't talk about, and about her relationship with her husband, and and with her friends and with her children, and as a mother, and with all the things that we went through. Went through. So it's very, very fun. But she was telling about let our shine, let our light shine. This is time that we shine our light. And I was thinking after that, it really brought me up because I was really down. That thing that she's writing here in one of the questions, what brings me down, what brings me into this, and I want to go to sleep. I don't want to see anyone. I don't want to go into Zoom. I don't want to see the world. I want to die. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm telling Baba that for a long time. So this really picked me up. And then I said, wow, everyone in the world is just pushing us down all the time. Everything is pushing us down all the time. And we are so used to pushing ourselves down too.
Yeah.
Not saying how beautiful we are, saying, oh, we didn't do that good. Oh, we are really, we are not worthy, Baba. We are really we are really terrible. And we didn't cook well. We don't want to wake up, We're pushing ourselves down, pushing our light up, down, and everyone else is pushing our light down. Yeah. So this is a crazy world. So now, I'm not going to let them push my light down. No.
Yeah. Adi Kearani, I had a private talk with him one time I was in the US, and he told me not to be so hard on myself. Yeah. And I thought, that sign Virgo can be very hard.
Yeah, he's talking about me.
but the ideal is not that way. It's more like the child, like this beautiful child. Yeah. So I remember him, and it was such a grace for him to tell me that, because sometimes you don't even realize you're being hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this world is so bad. If the bad will come to us, we will deal with it. We will, and Baba will be with us. Baba will be with us no matter what, So it's not come to us. It's come to many people. This bad, it's come to many people, but not to us. And not that I'm asking Baba, don't bring me the bad. If I will have the bad in my house, then I will have to deal with it. And Baba will help me. And I'm not going to let the shine go down, I'm not going to put my down. And I'm going to send out light to this world, and I'm going to send love to this world, and it helps. Today I was talking to someone who doesn't believe in God, and he said, "Oh, he's very sick. He's very, very sick. He's very disabled, and he's living with his wife. His wife is taking care of him at home, and he's very, very disabled. Very. So, friends.
Oh, friend. Sorry.
And he was saying, I am a grinding stone on the back of my wife. So I said, after I saw Obama, I said, You're a beautiful soul. You're a
Right.
beautiful soul. You forget that you're a beautiful soul. Your essence is beautiful. And we
Yeah.
were talking about what is happening in our country, so terrible. Things in our country are really terrible. So we're talking about the demonstrations. And he said, but I can't go to demonstrations because he's in a wheelchair. I said, you don't have to go to demonstrations. Just send love and send your light. It goes, you know?
Mhm.
So he doesn't believe that he can send love. He doesn't believe that what is inside is inside. It gets stuck inside and no, doesn't go out, you know. I said, but it goes out.
Yeah, love doesn't need a wheelchair to get there.
Right. Yes.
Well, Mikhail, he's your friend. To
Yeah.
have you as a friend is a great, you light his light. True, true.
But then at the end of this conversation, after I'm convincing him that it's like a radio, you know, like the radio waves, I said, how does the radio work? How does the television work? They work on waves, don't they work on waves? They just so
Mhm.
our thoughts are waves. I'm telling him, our thoughts the same, are waves. You know, so I see he's believing, you know, he's
Yeah.
at the end of the situation, at the end of the conversation before I go, he says, you know, I don't believe in God. I wasn't talking about God. I wasn't talking about Baba, nothing. I was talking about our
Right.
minds and our thoughts and our feelings and sending love and sending light, and that he's such a beautiful soul and everything. And he says, you know, it sounds like you're actually religious, you know, it's like he's shutting down. He's shutting down on it.
Mhm.
So, but I know it left light in his heart. I know.
Yeah. I like that line. I think I've shared it a few times. When you're with someone, bypass the story, go directly to the soul.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that line. It's so beautiful.
So yes, you saw all this black thing. It's black. We can't do anything about it.
No,
We can send love. We can send love,
Yeah.
and we can be with Baba, and it helps.
yeah, it didn't seem bad. Like it wasn't horrible. Like it didn't scare me or anything. It was just a reality of how nature and the human being are so connected. That's all. And that's why I love nature. I like being out in nature. I think that's why I pull in when my life feels like it's spiraling down. And I forget to reach out. Because I just go outside, I just go to nature and try to be quiet because, sometimes people are trying to fix you, it's like, you should do this or you should do that. It's like, no, I mean, it's nice. I mean, I did counseling work with people for over 30 years, people aren't broken. They aren't broken. They
You can-
just need someone to listen and reflect back, and they'll figure it out for themselves. They'll hear it, they'll see it. I mean, some of the best therapists never give advice. They just listen and then bring it back to the client, and they hear it and they go, no, that's not what I said. And you go, yeah. And that's, again, the value of the talking stick. Because if you're holding it and the other person's talking and you're really listening, you have to repeat what that person just said back to them without your jargon attached to it. So when they hear their own stuff and they go, no, that's not what I said.
Oh, interesting.
That was what you said.
Okay.
What I meant.
But if I
Well,
repeat what you said, did you say that you and Martin, when you looked at the black water, you thought that it was some kind of a sign?
no, it was just a reflection of, where we are in the world right now. We're moving really fast, everything's turbulent, but there's still, coming from that water, are negative ions which are good for your body. They're grounding. So it's that duality, yin and yang, whatever you want to call it. If you don't get caught in the doom and the gloom of it, which is what we want to do most of the time. It fits. Yeah, nothing ever goes right, blah, 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 blah. And we all do it. We all do it. And well, I shouldn't speak for other people. I do it, and I have to say to myself, shut up,
Yeah.
change the channel. You can do that. And when I do that, I'm good. But, when we stay stuck on that rut, you're never going to get out. You can't get out. So that's why these meetings, I think, are so valuable, because sometimes you ladies kick my butt. And it's good. It hurts, but it's good. It's like, I needed that.
Yeah, don't want you to be too comfortable.
Exactly. It's just something that was read or said or whatever. And I'm grateful for it, because I'll take it in and think about it and go, yeah, right, Wendy. Yeah, you need to just not do that.
I don't so easy not to do when I'm falling into a fall or something. It's not easy.
No, it isn't. It isn't. And you have to have tools in place to pull you out of it. And this is not very ladylike, but I have this expression, Wendy, you're in your bullshit stories. Pull out, get out. And I, not when I was working with young people, but with older people, sometimes there were situations that I'd say, you and I both know that's bullshit, right? Became something, anyway, I have a few bullshit that people have given me. Years. And it just reminds me, it's a bad thing. It's just, we get caught in those stories. I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not adventurous enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not blah, blah, blah. By whose standards?
Right.
Whose standards? And, when the young people are saying, oh, I wish my nose looked like this, or, I wish my butt looked like this, or my jaw, or whatever, there's all this, whatever. And I always say to my grandkids, because I can't say it to this child, I suppose I could. That could be one of my adventures. But anyway, not today. I'll say to them, you have everything in the right place at the right time for you have experience. Stop taking that energy to something that is not going to help you get through stuff.
Beautiful.
I remember all my friends, seemed to be Barbie dolls. I didn't even know if Barbie dolls were there then, but they were all tiny little things and so on. I was very shy. Like, I never put my hand up, and I know that might be a shock to you ladies, but that's the truth of it. I didn't. I was very contained, and they were all tiny little things and yada, yada, yada. I was the athlete. I liked to play baseball and football, and I played with the boys, because it didn't matter. They just played the sport and that was it, right? And one of the things that was always so hard for me was I felt like I went to bed, I had no chest, I woke up in the morning and I had 2 grapefruits. Well, what happened?
What age? What age?
Nobody else, has got this. And my feet were bigger than everybody else's. I had a size 9.5, 10, depending on, width of the shoe. And all these other girls are size 6 and size 7. I can look back on my life, and even now, I am grateful for what the body shape I've got. I am big boned. I do have big feet, but I'd be dead. I would be dead, physically dead, if I didn't have a body to defend myself. I would not be here today. So I am grateful. I am grateful. But it's hard when you're younger, when you do all that. And today now it's nose jobs, chin jobs, all these crazy things. But
And the girls do that. The girls don't do that in a young age. It's terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really cool.
So I think it's, again, when I work with this book, it reminds me that, yes, I'm almost mid-70s now, but I can still be childlike. I can still be, sensual. I can be exploring, the forest. There's nothing I can't do unless I make up my mind that it can't be done. And I think we really have to teach the young ones that are coming up that anything and everything is possible. It may not, you may have started off that you were going to be a pediatrician, but maybe you got pulled over into obstetrics or, chiropractic or, whatever. That's not a good or bad. If you're open to outcome, not attached to it, I think that's when Baba really jumps in and goes, okay, let's get to work here.
Yeah.
You your dress today. You didn't go, oh no, I don't think so. You got up, you put the dress on, and you made us all feel good. And you want to hear, Mikhail, about the book, and that meant a lot to me. And it just like, I don't know. Yes, we're all supportive of one another, no matter where we are on the journey. We're not trying to fix one another. We're just supporting one another.
I think we're bringing each one's experience in their life, each one's way that we're seeing and things that we learned in our life to this basket of us all. Like Rosalie is bringing her experience, I'm bringing my experience. You bring your great experience in also being a counselor. That is a great experience.
Yeah.
And Betty, you didn't share Baba. Want to say something?
Well,
No.
The Sahabas.
how was this? Not yet. That's coming up at the end of May.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. It'll come. Yeah. Well, I did when you way back, we were talking about Tolstoy. It was a very spiritual man.
Mhm.
And his daughter-in-law lived with the Avatar. I mean,
Yeah.
wow. You couldn't have known.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Lady Tolstoy, and she's buried in the Samadhi Hill.
yeah.
To Baba and Baba's parents. She's buried there. And
But I
Yeah.
just comment on that. I don't know, I'm fine. It's been great. You guys are shining, silver, sparkly.
It's so nice. It reminds me of that. There is an Indian tribe at the Four Corners where the 4 states meet. And he actually, he went to India and they let him do the peace ceremony.
Oh, Eddie Bentbox. Eddie
Yeah.
Bach. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Ute. He was a Ute Indian. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting. He
Yeah.
married this Baba lover, but he couldn't just marry her unless she learned their Ute language, which
Oh, I
is
didn't know
maybe
that.
not so easy.
I didn't know
And
that.
and that she would learn the beadwork.
Yeah.
And I had her, I'll bring it. I don't know where it is at the moment, but I asked her, I says, can you make me one of those beadworks? It was so glorious. She made it. It looks like Baba's rainbow around, flying off like little birds flying out of the rainbow. I mean, it's like a treasure. So she learned the beadwork. He's passed away now. I don't know. I haven't heard of her, but just the willingness to do that, to learn a language, to marry someone, and
And to learn beadwork. I mean,
the beadwork is so. I mean, she just
yeah,
creatively, yeah, and yeah.
beautiful pieces that have been
Oh
given.
yes, is this one of
Betty
hers?
Pinup. Yeah. Oh wow. Oh, it was back side. Wow.
Ah,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, she did that. She did
Yeah.
that. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
there's
about
a little
to be
leather in the back and the, yeah,
beautiful, Betty.
yeah.
In this, oh, I see.
Beautiful.
You couldn't see it at first. Okay, good. Nice.
Very
Yeah.
subtle what she
Yeah.
does with the beads.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That whole story is so beautiful. How what did he call him? The great, I think Eddie Box called Baba was his father, his great, called him, shoot. Anyway, Eddie, he got it. And he got,
Yeah.
he was criticized by his tribe, for one thing, for
Oh
marrying
yeah.
a white woman. And I think he had some status, I think, as, maybe a healer.
Wasn't he chief? Who was chief?
He had some,
Yeah.
or maybe was it, like a medicine man. It's in the globe.
Maybe they demoted him for, how his life was, but I think he was chief even. Yeah.
Is he the one that
And-
gave Lonnie the pipe or the?
Yes, the flutes, right? He made those for
Yeah.
her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put it on. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
so wonderful that that it's just that there's that connection with native folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, let me tell you.
It reminds me of another. It's in Arizona, a Hopi, Mesa #2.
Oh yeah.
They make the T-shirts. Don't worry, be Hopi.
Yeah. I visited there. They were
Yeah.
very, very special. And I left everything and the nothing because they had different holy books, like, and I left that with her. And what a beautiful tribe. And they were waiting for the great white brother.
Oh wow.
Yeah. My brother thought he was the one, but he was on LSD, and he came on the reservation and they said, Tom, you're not the true white brother. Stop taking that drug. And Baba saved his life through the Hopi. He
Wow.
stopped it.
Really? This
Oh,
is
yeah.
your brother's experience. Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Hope very beautiful people for sure.
Very beautiful. Never warred as a nation either against another Indian tribe or the United States. Yeah.
And they
Yes.
live under very extreme conditions where they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if I shared this with you ladies or not, but years ago, just after my mom died, so probably 30-ish years ago now, I was asked to do a talk at a university. And if I've told this story, just say you
I
know.
have
Not so far. I haven't heard it.
Anyway, I had one of the ladies that came to one of my drumming circles was working for the university. And she said, would you come and do a talk? And I said, well, yeah, I can, but I don't know if I have native blood in me. I don't know that. I just know I've been drawn to it most of my life. And she said, doesn't matter, just come. So anyway, I did. And she hooked me up with this lady who was from South America, who was over here on a sabbatical at the university. So anyway, my talk was at 6:30 in the, which oftentimes is not a great time apparently, because kids are off doing other things. But it was full. It was full. And I was very nervous because I'd never talked in front of that many people before. Anyway, so I talked to them about how the Indigenous culture had impacted my life. You know, teaching across the board, we're very consistent. Yes, they have different ceremonies and different names for things, but the baseline, they're all the same. They're all the same. So to me, anyway. So anyway, I was talking about that and about how it started in my life and some of the weird things that brought me to committing to, you know, the practice. So anyway, so I gave my speech. I didn't realize that I had some Indigenous students in there. Anyway, they actually came up and said, thank you, which was like, oh my God. And I said, you know, if I have offended you in any way, please accept me. No, 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 no. It was lovely. Thank you. So that was it. That night I come home and I'm reflecting on the evening. And then I thought, oh my God, my mom was always disappointed when I never went to university. I had this high IQ, and I said, Mom, I know if I go, I'm either going to end up either with drugs, alcohol, suicide. Like it was so clear to me not to go down that road. So clear. And so I didn't. And have I been successful? Yeah, I have. But anyway, so I'm sitting there that night and I went, so Mom, I may not have gone to university, but I got to speak at a big university in Canada. Yeah, the Canada University.
Yeah.
I hope you're watching. I hope you were proud of me. So anyway, about maybe 3-4 months went by, and the lady who was there on the sabbatical called me and said, I have a present from my people for you. Could you meet me at the Toronto bus station? Because I'm on a very tight schedule. I've got to get back. And I went, sure, that would be lovely. Thank you. So I took my daughter out of school for the day, and I'm not even sure. Well, I know now why, but at the time I didn't know why. So I meet her, and interestingly enough, her name almost sounds like Mara.
Oh.
But it isn't, it's Mahara, something like that. Like I'd have to look it up now how to pronounce it, but it was like, whoa. Anyway, so I meet her at the bus station, and she gives me this beautiful drum from the Mapuche tribe in Chile. And they're the people of the land. And according to her, like it goes on and on, the short version of it is they know where every one of their drums are.
Oh my.
And the prophecy is that someday they will all drum together. They may not
Yeah.
place, but they will all drum together.
Wow.
So the only rule that came with it was only women could handle it. No man, never to be touched. And yeah, and to keep it close to where you sleep.
Sleep.
Wow.
Sleep.
Wow.
And, anyway, the long and the short, I mean, I've many times have used it in some ceremony with some of the Indigenous people around here. And the elders have said, wow, that's a beautiful drum. And they know they can't touch it because I make that really clear. But very respectful of it. Yeah. So why am I telling this story? I don't know.
Can you show us, Wendy? Is it big? Is it small enough that you can show us? Or
Yeah.
is it all right? Is it okay? We're women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, we certainly went off the rails. We're still recording too. Why not? If it's,
Yeah.
unless you're worried about it.
Yeah, I don't think that it should be recorded, but you have to ask her, especially when she shared so many private things. And I was thinking when she was sharing that, is she aware that it's recording, and you should ask her.
Oh, look. Oh, wow. It's
So,
wow.
put pin it up, please.
It had
Oh, sorry.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Wow. And show the back, please.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, it's, oh, interesting.
Almost like a
and
oh.
Oh, show the
And
front.
you can hear it. There's like a beam in it. Can you hear it?
Ah, ah.
Oh, that's
Show the front again because it has a star and the moon
Yeah.
and the sun.
can you how do you can you hit it with your hand? Can you play it? Or oh,
Yep, I have a beater.
oh,
Oh.
That's
that's so beautiful.
So Wendy, say again, only the women could have them, the
Yeah.
drum?
The
Wow.
women, the women are the shamans in the Mapuche tribe. They're the healers, apparently.
That
There's
is so beautiful.
written up about them. They've been kind of they've kept to themselves, but I don't know if this is fact or fiction.
Wendy, wait a minute. I'm just this is still recorded. Is that okay with you, or do you want me to turn it off?
It's okay.
Okay. All right. Okay.
If
But
any
all,
listens,
but all that you talked was recorded. So is it okay with you? Yeah,
don't-
okay.
didn't tell any lies.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. But thank you for asking. That's very kind. Yeah, I mean, I trust that for whatever reason this came into being today. I don't know, but it did. I just asked the process. But I've heard through a fairly reliable source, but I don't know exactly how to research this one. That the law was within the Mapuche that you could never sell any of your land to anybody but another Mapuche. And apparently something has gone awry with that, and some of their land is being sold to outsiders because my guess is probably minerals that they want from them on their land. That's
What land? I mean, they're in South America,
yes, in Chile.
Chile. Ah.
So what is the drum made of on the other side? Is it wood?
Yes, it's my understanding is from her that it's kind of comparable to our pine tree.
Okay.
And the skin is sheepskin.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's fine. You know, I never knew how you got into this.
You're muted. I can't hear you. Sorry.
I never heard how you got into the shaman thing yourself. By indigenous people, by meeting an indigenous people, by learning.
I think what happened wasn't too pleased with the Christian church. I was kind of disappointed with some things that happened within the church. And it didn't stop me from believing in God by any means, but there were just some things that didn't click for me. And then up the road from where I lived as a child, we had a family that were Native. And not that I spent a lot of time with them, but they were just, I don't know, things just fell into place. And then I got the opportunity. My one son, who I don't know how old he was. I think you have to be 16 before you count. He shot his first deer, and I had talked to him about the importance. If you take a life, you can't just take it and walk away. You have to use everything. And we have a pretty strong community. If there's any pieces, parts, whatever, they will take them. So there's no need to be disrespectful. Anyway, so we talked about it, and I had said to him, if you kill this year a deer, you need to, after you've made the kill, to take a moment and thank that deer for giving it. For whatever reason, you were meant to take that life. And that's a huge responsibility, to take a life. You don't just walk away from it. Anyway, after he had, and it was a while later, he said to me, "Mom, I'm so glad you told me that, because you don't know until you take a life what it is."
That's beautiful.
So yeah, so there was that. Well, then we kept the skin, and Martin was getting some remedies. I think it was oils from Roseneath, which isn't too far from here, which is another community. And so Jeff, I don't know, we just clicked. And his wife, like, just beautiful people. And so he said, "If you want to do the skin, I'll show you how to do it."
Oh,
So we did it the way they would do it.
oh,
And it's a process, let me tell you.
Oh.
And it doesn't smell good, let me tell you. When you take it out of the solution, which is ashes and water, it stays for a while, and then you put it up, and then you scrape it, and then it's got to dry, and yeah. So yeah, and so that skin I had for a very long time. I tried many people, well, not many, but 3 or 4, to build a woman's large drum so that we could all drum together. And it never went well. I was betrayed every time. And it was like, no, I don't want that energy on the skin. No. So I would take it. So time went by, and it was sitting in a safe place. And then my grandchildren came along, and they were interested, and they wanted to make drums. So 2 of them were the children of my son that had killed this deer.
oh, wow.
So they got to, and the other 2 were their niece and nephew. And so all of my children have made drums or have been gifted drums.
Interesting.
Gone through it all. We're part of making the medicine wheel. And I guess to me, more than anything, what it did was give them a platform to experience the natural world and how you're connected to.
That's beautiful.
If you can sit quietly with those components, and you sit on the medicine wheel, and it's life-changing. It's life-changing. And do I have to give up Baba to have that experience? No, not at all. If if anything, it makes it richer for me because it's active and I don't know. Just
Baba would not let you go into that if she didn't want you to go into that. That's special
And-
thing to do with Baba.
and I believe that I would not have my first trip meant now you know who this is, Betty, because you told me his name, and he wrote an article in Shaman's Drum years ago, but he was there my first trip. And for whatever reason, I got to talk to him, which made me feel really good because I didn't mention that aspect of my life because I didn't know if that was okay. And then when I opened up God Speaks and saw the chart of evolution through the gases and the animals and the bugs and yada, 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 it was like, oh my God, I've been doing this for a very long time. You know, I'm okay, you know. Do I remember being an ant? No, I don't. But it was like that connection. Yeah.
Are you talking? Sorry. Are you
No,
talking about Eddie Box? Are you talking about Eddie Box or
oh,
somebody
no,
else? Oh,
no, I can't think of his name. Oh my goodness. He, I think he lived maybe in Arizona or something. I'm not sure. I have a picture he gave me of his altar and a little chipmunk sitting on it.
wow.
So badly, I can't remember his name. Oh my, I'll find it.
So you to this before you knew Baba, or you went to Baba first and then you went into this?
Oh, first was this venue. And I kind of, when I started into, non-traditional things like reflexology and all these other things, it just felt more natural to me. And then when my dad died, when we were at the hospital, I saw him, he was translucent and beautiful. And it was just a validation for me that we're way more than our bodies. And I knew that, but it was almost his last gift to me.
Your father.
Yeah. He was not my biological father, but he.
Yeah, you told that story that he was coming towards you.
Yeah.
In the corridor, and that's beautiful. But I didn't get the answer. I didn't see you first were introduced to Baba, and then you went to shamanism. And you went to shamanism, and you went to Baba. So how was the transition from? How did you happen to know about Baba through?
That was through Martin. I was doing my NLP training, and then a year or so later, there was a conference, and the lady that was sort of my saving grace through all of it, she pointed me in his direction, and I was like, no, I do not. I was going through my divorce then, and I was like, oh, geez, last thing I need. Anyway, and then I'm rushing through it, but he took me to lunch in the hotel area there, and he put Baba's hair. He always carries one in his wallet in a little Ziploc, and he put it in my hand, and it started to beat like a heart. And then when I looked into the garden that was dead 2 seconds prior, was not. It was just magical. And I remember, so I saying, who is this? No, who is this? Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and so he told me about God Speaks and discourses, and that was it. I didn't see him for a while, and anyway.
Yeah, and I remember you telling the story of the candle. I love that.
That's
That
the best.
Were you when Rosalie? Were you when she told the story of the candle?
I
With
don't know. I don't know if I've heard that.
yeah, okay, that's a beautiful story. You want to tell it, Wendy?
So Martin, I wasn't really keen on getting married again because I had young, they weren't young, but I just didn't want anything to go south and them suffer anymore. And I knew that my heart would not take being broken again. It just wasn't going to happen. So anyway, the long and the short, he wanted to get married, and I said, well, let me think on it. Let me think on it. So I went down to my office. I put a candle on. I sat in the chair, and I said, if you're God, you need to give me a sign I'm supposed to marry this man, because I don't think I can risk my heart being broken. And it wasn't that I didn't love Martin, I did, but I was afraid. So anyway, so I don't know how long I sat in that chair. I really don't know. But when I opened my eyes, the candle was out and the flame was gone. And I went, okay, I'm not supposed to marry him. Good, we're done. And then boom, the candle lit again. And it was like, okay. And that's why I married him. And I told that story in Mandalay Hall. Erich made me tell it. And it was like, oh, don't make me tell this story, please. Anyway.
That's an amazing story. Amazing.
So
Yes, it's so memorable. I just love it.
and then I really get angry with him. I'll say, just so you know, the only reason I married you was because
That's what Michelle Obama does in that video, and the full house there, and Oprah sitting around there on the stage, and she says, "Well, my husband, he loves me, but the way he loves me is come and kiss me." And so he comes and he kisses me, and I say, "But I'm angry now. Don't kiss me. Wait till I finish my anger." So she's so open. It's so nice to hear her, And it might take some hours, it might take some even days. Don't kiss me now.
I feel like, even though there are days that I am lower than a snake's belly, I do feel
What's a snake's belly? What's a snake's belly?
Well,
belly, like it doesn't get any lower to the ground.
Okay.
and then underneath
Oh,
the snake.
We call it on the woods, like you're down on the floor on the wood.
Yeah.
Same idea.
Okay.
I do
Okay.
feel like he's given me a magical ride, and it's been very diversified, let me tell you. It hasn't all been, sunshine, lollipops, and roses, let me tell you. It's been some very life-threatening situations and some magical, and yeah, but still here.
When you're talking about the Silver Gate, and the second part of life, then I'm always thinking of Baba Jan. I love Baba Jan so much. This old lady, I'm just imagining what she went through, going out of her house at 16 and walking in there alone, and how she survived that. And after that, when she said Anal Haq and they buried her, and then she finally rises from the being buried. Elohim Ishmor, whoa. And then she goes on Mecca and goes through, what she went through. And then she goes and she just sits in the street and waits for Baba.
Yeah.
But what about Mecca? I don't know that part. Tell me what
Oh,
about.
she went twice to Mecca. She's a how do you call it? There's a name. If you go to Mecca, you go
The
Hajj. You call the Haji.
Oh, okay.
And she went on this ship, and in the middle of the ocean, there was a storm and they were to be capsized. And so everyone was very scared. And they came to her and she said to someone, they said, take a cloth and ask for a coin from each of the persons and each of the children and everyone on that. And promise God that when we come to Mecca safely, we will give this to the poor or something, like take care of the people there. And so the storm calmed and she came there and she did all what she was supposed to do around the Mecca stone. And she helped people there who were sick and in their pilgrimage. And then she went to Medina. That's where Muhammad ran away from his persecutors. And there too, she did a lot of things, and also for animals. She also took care of fodder for animals and things like that. And she did that twice. That's what they say. She did it twice. This was the ones with the storm and the other one. But she's such an amazing.
Oh, well, perfect master. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you, ladies.
It's only been 2.5 hours now. Come on. You have to go. I have to go.
Yeah, it's looking like
All right now.
I need food.
Sorry, Martin.
Wonderful being together and
Oh, just love.
the women's talk and read and shares, amazing shares.
You'll read more, right, Rosalie? You'll read some.
Next time.
Next time, yes.
Where are you dressed? Where are you dressed again?
So Betty, we are going to have another session.
Yeah, we didn't finish the book. We have to finish the book. At this rate, we'll have a few more.
Are we going to another gate? Will we go to another gate also?
We can.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll talk next time about it. Oh, yeah, but it'll be not next Tuesday, but Tuesday after. We'll all be here. So, yeah. What is that? Yes. May.
I'm,
Thank you, Baba.
I'm flexible. I don't mind. Whatever. They've all-
Okay, we can talk next time.
I'm going to look for a book about mermaids.
Yeah.
I can find one.
Reading a book about mermaids.
A story time about mermaids.
Rosalie really good.
And Christian Anderson, that story is beautiful about the
Mermaids.
Yeah.
All right, much love. Oh my goodness.
Jai Meher Baba.
Jai Meher Baba.
Let us drown in your ocean of love.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're all mermaids.
Yeah.
Oh, Jai Baba. Thank you for putting on your dress, Rosalie.
Thank you. Bye.
Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.